end has come, and we are here to talk our predictions for the final three ahead of the final tribal council. We have three all-stars standing before us, and only one can win. We have Janine, Parvati, and Luke. I want to break down each of these players' chances to win and make some predictions once and for all.
Should we start with Janine?
Let's start with Janine.
People see me as a hard-nosed bitch business person. What can we learn from that issue? We need to divide and conquer.
I think that Janine has like a really clear message that she can drive home, which is one of loyalty, integrity, but also willing to scheme and do what she needed to do. But she had that person that she wouldn't turn on. That's an appealing thing for the jury.
You two vote for each other. They're the options.
Look, I'm not voting Luke.
Yep.
I'm not voting him.
The only problem is that so does Parvati. She has that. And the other person in that situation is Luke. And Luke also has that. So if she can ring that bell of what she did at the final tribal before this one, then I think she has a good shot of swaying some people about how, steadfast she is and willing to make risky decisions.
Yeah. Do you know what I think Janine has that Parvati doesn't have? The underdog story.
Yeah.
Parvati played a very dominant game. I think she voted correctly every if not
time.
all time, or if not
Except
most
the
times.
last one, yeah.
Yes. And so I think that Janine can play that up, and everybody loves an underdog story. And she's even an underdog to Luke, who had this idol that Janine may not have known about.
Yeah.
And so I think that she can say, despite all of that, and despite being on the bottom for most of the pre-merge, I was able to rise to the top because of my close relationship with Luke, because I was able to cross enemy lines and work with Parvati and Suri.
My view is I wouldn't be here without you guys.
Same.
And it would suck if it wasn't the four of us here tomorrow.
In addition to that, Luke gave up his immunity necklace for her. That showed her importance to his game. It showed her importance to continuing with this four going forward. And I think she has a good shot of maybe getting 1 or 2 votes.
Yeah, and to be fair, though, in the move that she made, sending Luke to fire against Suri, either way, a massive game player is taken out of this game.
Yeah.
And so you can spin that as a win. And if anybody can spin something, I think it's Janine. So the question is really, can she juice $250,000 out of this jury?
I will say I will give Janine credit where it's due. She made me fully believe at Tribal last night that she was going to be voting Luke out.
Yep.
And by her doing that, she avoided the vote being flipped on her.
There is that Australian world divide, but when you get down to 4, you really have to play an individual game. Because at the end of the day, you have to get to the right 3 at the end to have a chance to be able to convince these people over here to give you that title.
That took a lot of acting, a lot of intention.
Yep.
And I mean, Suri and Parv got duped.
She had me fooled.
Yeah.
She had me fooled.
And Janine hasn't had an opportunity to pitch in front of a jury before, nor has Luke. Parvati is a lot more seasoned than both of them, but I think that if anybody on this cast could make a great pitch to a jury, I mean, Janine's the obvious choice.
Oh my God, how many businesses do you have? Janine's the most successful business lady in Australia. Yeah, okay.
She's a real smoothie talker.
Thanks, Dan.
I hate puns.
All right, let's talk about Parvati.
I've been playing this game for decades. For decades. This is very exciting. I am the princess of power.
Final American in the game, our last representative of the World Tribe. A former Survivor winner in one of the most beloved seasons, a robbed queen of the actual most beloved season, Heroes versus Villains. Parvati has talked about getting redemption for her loss in Heroes versus Villains. How do you think Parvati's chances are at this final tribal council?
I think Parvati's in a great spot. She came into this game with a massive target on her back, being in so many well-known alliances, being a previous winner, and she's just lovable. In my opinion. Is she lovable to this cast? That remains to be seen. We've seen quite a few people who don't feel like they have trust in her. They can't trust what she says.
Kirby. 3 votes Kirby, 2 votes Sari, 1 vote Lisa.
What have you done?
Kirby. 4 votes Kirby, 2 votes Sari, 1 vote Lisa.
She started this game going to her first tribal council being called out by Rob and somehow was able to flip it and not... Has she received any votes this entire game? No.
It's so crazy to think that she was in control every single time she went to tribal council, and the only time when something didn't go the way she wanted it to go was last night, and she still had the immunity necklace so she couldn't go home.
Yeah.
So even that one blip when it didn't go her plan, it couldn't bounce back on her. Like, she has been in such control. How did this happen? I think if anyone says that Parvati is not one of, if not the greatest Survivor player ever, then they were not watching this season.
Hopefully Sandra's not watching this because the debate rages on. Who is the queen? All right, well, let's move on to our final player, and it is the great Luke Toki.
It's like I'm in the Olympics for lying, cheating, and stealing.
He was in a very similar situation in season 4 that he was in last night. This time he was given the opportunity to go to fire, and he won very triumphantly over Sari. And so, very curious to see how this is going to shake out for Luke. Could he finally win Australian Survivor?
Well, like, the history lesson that I think that some of the American players and other internationals were maybe missing on Luke is that he is such a beloved figure in the canon of Australian Survivor. So he comes in season 2, blows a hole through the game as this larger-than-life personality, makes it to 7, but is taken out because he's so likeable. He's the only player brought back for season 4. He comes back as the People's Champion. That's literally what he was called. On a tribe of champions, he was called the People's Champion. That's how much people love him. And even with that threat level, the only person to ever played Survivor on that season, the only person to have made it far, he still makes it far because the contenders loved him. The champions loved him. Everybody loved him, and he's snipped right at the end because he's such a big threat. So what does the Australian public do? They rally around him and they raise money for him and his young family. It was an amazing thing to be a part of. He is so embedded into the culture of Australian Survivor that I think it would be hard for some people to overlook the fact that he finally made it. He finally made it, and he deserves to win because of everything he has given this franchise. So that's a pretty compelling argument, I think, for some people. But there are only 3 Australians on the jury.
Right.
So I don't know how well known that story is, or just how steeped in the history of Luke Toki people are.
The thing that Luke has going for him is the personality, is the relationships. I think if we're being frank about this game, I don't think he's played his best game here. For the entire pre-merge, he was on the bottom and had no idea what was going on. He voted incorrectly multiple times.
Even though he voted incorrectly, he was trying to vote to keep the Aussie tribe strong, and he could have had a totally different path to the end, but he was just on the wrong side of the votes. But he still was making decent decisions with his incorrect votes. He blew up the world tribe in one conversation.
Lisa, you were going for Parvati. You said straight up to me, you came up to me and Shoni and said, let's go Parvati. You also, this is what even made it worse, she said, I'm not voting Parvati because I need that relationship when I get back to camp.
That's not what happened, Luke.
And I think that, like, to his benefit, he saw Parvati very much in control of this game, and he went and he built trust with her in a massive way because he was able to get a hold of her idle steel advantage, her knowledge is power advantage, and have her rip it in half.
Which is wild.
This is to seal our commitment.
Yeah, that's it.
Together we have the power.
That was pretty crazy.
And like that is a massive power move to get Parvati to do that.
I'm still surprised she did that.
Me too. Me
Yeah.
too. And I think that, that might be a knock against her game. I think Sarah will vote for Luke.
I agree. I think that's a lock.
Yeah. I still have a big question mark around Kirby.
Kirby is interesting to me because Kirby has known Luke from before Survivor.
Yeah.
But I just feel like Kirby was so drawn to Parvati in this game. First
Yeah.
chance she could, she ditched them to go and work with Parvati.
Bring
I
each
just
other,
can't
yeah.
see, I can see her really loving and respecting Luke, but I can see her also voting for Parvati.
Is there anybody on the jury that you think is a lock for Janine right now?
Not a lock, but I think there are people who are open. I could see maybe like a Cass being open. I'd see Lisa being
Yeah.
open. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a shutout for her.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to find out very soon who the winner will be of Survivor Australia v World. Stay tuned. I'll be staying tuned. I can't wait.